Well, hello there, boys and girls. I hope everything's going well. Hey, listen, I know that I'm going to be gone for, after tomorrow until, the Friday before finals, and there's no school that day for you guys. So you're not going to have access to me to help you guys out with questions and things like that for quite a while. But I've got things set up for you so that you can get the help you need. And here's how it's going to work, okay? So, look, you got to make sure to do this next part. It's super, super, super important to do this next part, okay? So look, this is how things have been working so far. You can either find the assignments here in, the classroom spreadsheet, which you have access to, right? You've got the assignments over here. So like this is for Cambridge 2. That's the assignment for today, right? Or it'll just say right here, the problems in the book and all those kinds of things. Same here for Cambridge 1. For those of you who are pre-calculus students, all the homework is posted in my math lab. But here's the thing. So, for example, let's say here let's go to a freshman class, Cambridge 1. So look, this is my view. So for example, this is scheduled to be released for Thursdays and Fridays work. Okay, so it's in gray, so you can't actually see this yet. But when you open it up, it's going to have an instructional video. It's going to basically telling you how to do the homework or the big ideas. You can also read through the book, and then you try the homework. And then, after you're done with that, you go through and you watch the video where I went through each problem. So I did each problem. So you go ahead and you watch that and you go through that and you grade your work. Okay? So that's really the key right there, that last part where you actually go over your work and you grade it. Because what I did is when I made those videos, I know where students get stuck. I know where the trouble lies. And so I'm discussing all of those things as I'm going through the homework. And so that's going to be really the most important part. That's really similar to how when we meet and you ask me questions, that's where most of the learning is going to happen. The learning doesn't really happen when the teacher gives you information. A lot of the learning happens when you try to apply it on your own without help. That's where the confusion's uncovered. But then in resolving that confusion, that's where the learning occurs. The learning occurs when that confusion is resolved. And there's no way around it. You can't circumvent that process. So you're going to have to be a little patient with yourself. It's okay if you get confused. It's okay if you get frustrated. Those are actually the things you're really learning. Those are the things that you're going to use in your everyday life. The ability to make sense of confusing information, the ability to have some self-talk that says, hey, I'm feeling a little frustrated right now. It's okay. Let's give myself some time. So have some faith in yourself. Have some patience with yourself. Be encouraging to yourself. You can get this. Just give yourself some time. Don't put pressure on yourself to get it like at this very moment when you've sat down. Sometimes you need to get up and leave the problem for a while. Leave the assignment and then come back to it. I know that the closest experience I ever had to what you're going to be going through, well, what you've been doing with the distance learning this whole time, was in college. I was taking third semester calculus, which is a pretty difficult class, and I was doing it from home because I had an injury, so I couldn't actually go to school. So I was taking that class from home, just trying to read the book. There was no YouTube yet. Didn't have video conferences with the teachers, anything like that. So what would happen is I'd read the text, I would try the example problems, and then I would do the homework. So I would say start on a homework problem and get like really sideways with it, which I mean confused and all messed up and frustrated. So what I would do is I would just leave it and I'd go outside and walk to the end of the street and then come back. And a lot of the time, I just had a fresh view. And maybe in the back of your mind somehow or another, the things you're grappling with meld together and make sense. And so I'd come back and I'd have a better idea. It didn't always work 100% of the time, but it worked most of the time. And then a lot of the time, the next day I would look at it and say, oh, I got it now. I see. So there's a couple things here. Number one, you can't procrastinate if you're going to do that. Number two, you have to take pride in your work. You have to understand that your work is an absolutely important part of your learning. And then when you put all that together, you're going to be fine. So look, let me show you one more time. Look. So all of the homework assignments that you have, there are videos where I went through and I recorded myself doing the problems and talking about the issues, the things that are confusing that students often mess up. So that's all here. They're here. So what you're going to do, once again, you're going to, in Google Classroom, like say on the 3rd in the morning, this is going to open up. You will have access to the assignment. You're going to watch the video. You're going to take notes. That means you're going to pause it. You're going to write down formulas. You're going to write down examples. You're going to try examples on your own. Then you're going to play the video to see if you get it right. Then you're going to look through the examples in the book just to make sure you're good. Then you dive into the homework. Check the answers in the back of the book. Then watch the video where it talks about, where I go over each of those questions. I made these videos just for this situation, just for you guys. Those videos are made just for you. Now look, I can tell how many people have watched them. Now, a lot of this stuff right here we haven't gotten to. They haven't been released to you guys through Google Classroom, so not a whole lot of views. But I know when people are watching them or not, because it's all right there on YouTube. So do yourself a favor. You can do this. Have faith with yourself. Have faith in yourself. Have confidence that you can do this. You do have all of the pieces there, right? So it's kind of like this. When you're learning new material, it's kind of like where I have a puzzle. It's in the box. I dump all the pieces out for you. I show you the picture. And then we kind of go through constructing it, right? But your homework is where you have to do the puzzle yourself. You have to put it all together. And so you may or may not have gotten it right. And so you can check in the back of the book. That's kind of like looking in the box, right? And then if you're really stuck, then what I did is I made those videos where I put the puzzle together for you. I go through the problems and I do them. And you should watch those and take notes on that if you're stuck. And then try the homework again. If you do all that, you're going to be rock solid. I have no concerns. You're gonna be rock solid. Okay? So last thing I'm going to suggest. If you're having a difficult time, even though I won't be able to see the email until I get back, I want you to let me know. So say, hey, Mr. Brown, on chapter 13.2, whatever, I'm having trouble because I don't get this part I'm getting stuck on. But then don't just quit there, right? Then use those resources. Go back. Maybe you can do a Google search. You can ask a friend. You can ask a parent, right? Then go back and try it again. Read the notes. Rewatch the video where it discusses the information. Watch the homework video. Then go back and try it again. Then give me an update. Respond to that email and say, hey, wait a minute, Mr. Brown, I went through and I got it, or I didn't, or I got this far now, but now I'm stuck on this part. And then repeat that process. You guys can get this. You just have to have a little faith, a little confidence, have some pride in your work, do a good job. Understand that this is not busy work. It's not punishment. It's not you have to do it because the teacher's telling you. See, look, the homework itself is not important. The questions aren't important. The test isn't important. Your grade is not important. What is important is how you respond to the challenges that you're facing. That is what's important. The greater the challenge, the greater the payoff. Right now we have tons of challenges. That's great. That is good because you have access to fix things, to improve yourself in a way that you do not have access to when everything's going great. It's when things are difficult that we make ourselves. See, a lot of people believe, and I disagree strongly, a lot of people believe, oh, I'm going to discover myself someday. I shouldn't have said it in a mocking voice, but I don't believe that's how it works. I believe we define ourselves. We make ourselves. And that happens when things are difficult. When you face challenges, you have an opportunity, a unique opportunity, to make yourself be the kind of person you want to be. How you respond to challenges is who you are. Say that again. How you respond to challenges is who you are. When things are difficult, you get to make yourself. It's hard. You have to be aware of it. You have to think about it ahead of time going in. That's why I'm mentioning these things. You're facing challenges in school right now that you have never faced before. You're in high school. Those of you who are freshmen, right? Those of you who are not, you're still facing challenges because you're learning new things at a new level. So this is difficult, hard work. How you face it is going to go a long ways towards making you the kind of adult you're going to be. So that's what is important. How you respond, super important. If you just fold and say, I can't do this, and you hide from it, when in your life are you going to face a challenge? Because there's really no big consequence to not doing well here. Not really. Ultimately, there's not a huge consequence. But what's the payoff? The payoff is you've learned. You faced a challenge, and that makes facing the next one easier, and the one after that easier, and the one after that easier. It makes it easier to be the kind of person you want to be when it matters most. So you get to start that. You get to establish that now. So even if you've messed up before now, it doesn't even matter. You've got a new challenge in front of you. This is a great opportunity. So while there are some hurdles that you wouldn't face otherwise, I mean, life's not perfect, and we're all facing a lot of hurdles right now. There's some great things that come out of it. Whether those great things are realized or not is really entirely 100% up to you. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, it's going to be hard. But you can handle this. I know you can handle this. I've been doing this for a long time. Never under these circumstances either. But I have no pause in my confidence that you guys can be successful with this. So here's what you're going to do to recap. You're going to check Google Classroom every day. During your regular class time, stay on schedule. Have yourself a spot where you can work, right? So private spot in your room, somewhere nice and quiet. Not in the living room with a bunch of your siblings running around being crazy, okay? You need to have a place where you can focus, okay? So you check Google Classroom every morning. You look at the assignments, then you watch the videos, you take notes. That means you have to pause the video. You have to try the practice problems. You have to write definitions and formulas. You have to write ideas and questions. You might have to watch that video 2 or 3 times until you feel like you're confident, okay? Then you read through the book's examples. You read through it's really short, just a couple paragraphs. You read through the book, try those, and then you tackle the homework. If you're really, really, really stuck, you go back and you reread your notes. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. All that time, 3 or 4 times watching that video might be 20, 30 minutes. That's it. Okay? Then you go through the homework. If you're stuck, you go back and reread your notes that you took. You try to put it together. All the clues that you need are there. All the clues to do the homework are there in your notes. I've made sure everything you need is there. You have access. Okay? Then, when you're done, you check your answers in the back of the book, right? Check your answers, see how you did. If you missed something, probably a simple mistake. Just look over your work. That's one of the reasons why you got to show your work, right? You show your work so you can find a mistake. If you made a big conceptual error, then you have to go through and try it again. Watch the homework video. If you're really stuck and confused after you've done all that, that's what the homework videos are for. I went through and I did each problem. I addressed all of the common issues that students have. I've been doing this for a long time. As I said, I know where you're going to get stuck. I know what kinds of problems are going to arise. So I address all those in those videos. So watch them. Try those problems again. Try the other problems in the book. This is your opportunity to make the most of a difficult situation. And it's important because you're going to face difficult situations throughout your life, and they are going to guide you. They are going to put you on one path or another. It's how you respond to those challenges that matters. That's what matters. That's what's important. So I have made all of the materials accessible to you. Everything's there. The only thing that's missing is I won't be there on a daily basis to encourage you, to express faith in you, to say, hey, you can do this. I know you got this. What's confusing? Let's break this down. I won't be there to hold your hand through that part. You got to do it on your own, but you can do it. I know you can do it. So anyway, I hope you guys are very successful. I'm excited to see how you guys do. Send me emails, give me updates, even say, hey, Mr. Brown, I watched that homework video. I got it now. I appreciate it. You didn't have to say the appreciate it part, but let me know how it's going because I want to know. Anyway, you guys are awesome. You're going to do well, and I'll see you soon.